don't know. It seems like I woke up 40 times a night. Every time I wake up, I've had some incredible vivid dream. So even just last night, if I had 40 dreams, each dream had a different, very loud emotion, like fear, sadness, happy, rejoice, wonder. It was all like very real. And when I wake up, I can't remember any of it because they're dreams. They're temporary. They evoked a heartbeat, a racing heartbeat, or a joyous feeling of the mind, or a relaxation. But it was all actually unreal because it was temporary. In the same way, this life, as long as it seems, is actually quite short. Like when you walk by a cemetery, all those people had very significant lives, but in one sense, they're actually insignificant. We don't even think about them anymore. We don't think about the family of gravestones next to each other and what they went through. It's all like a bubble in the ocean. And at the same time, for millennia, for thousands of years, it's almost like it's a dream of Brahma, like in Brahma's lifetime. And of course, that's all within a moment of Lord Vishnu's. So our lifetime, even if I was to live, I mean, I've had ups and downs in my life. I've had great joy and great pain. But even if my life was born into pain and I die in pain and I live till I'm 100, it's still a bubble in the ocean.
Yeah.
So everybody here is just burning off some karma. And even the planet itself is burning off some karma as we go through this winter season of Kali Yuga. And it will have its ups and downs because that's part of karma. In the same way, sometimes a homeless man becomes a millionaire for some, who knows why. And sometimes a millionaire loses everything and ends up on the street as an alcoholic. There's some types shifts of karma that happen within our lifetime. And all the best we can do, I find in my life, the best I can do is take care of my own, govern my own spiritual life, sail my own spiritual ship, and touch as many hearts as I can while I'm doing, and give that absolute truth that the Bhagavad Gītā teaches, which is that we're here for a moment. We've got to control our mind and our senses because those are the things we can control. And we should be compassionate to those going through pain. But the highest thing we can offer people is eternal truth, which is we're all children under God. No one can actually harm us unless we allow them to. And that we're all brothers and sisters. There is no enemy. And we should learn to forgive people and learn to see God's hand in everything that happens. And everything is meant for our growth.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Ramjula in Rishikesh on the banks of the river Ganga. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a Bhakti Yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. It's November 5th, 2025. It's Tuesday. I didn't even know what day it was because we're on pilgrimage.
It's actually November 4th.
Oh, it's actually November 4th. Okay.
Fault.
It's episode 1691. Welcome to the show, beautiful people. We're here live with a whole crew, including Siggy, who just showed up from Bali. He's been to India with us many times. He just showed up as like 4 minutes as we were walking in the door. Listens to the podcast every day. I was like, do you still listen to the podcast? He's like, yeah, I'm listening now.
I bumped into him when I was in Vrindavan. He's just, he goes to the
wow.
holy places.
He's a special guy.
Yeah.
And so we're here on a special Q&A day, Meet the Pilgrims Day. So we're going to go over questions and answers from the pilgrims, get to know our pilgrims a little bit better. In the meantime, we've been having an incredible time. I can't remember when we did this last, but we were in Devaprayag, which is breathtaking. Did we do it in Devaprayag?
Yeah.
Yeah, Devaprayag. And then we came down to Rishikesh, and it's been just like, we were in Haridwar last night, and it was off the charts. Kirtan, bliss, and if people were there for the first time, it was just so joyous. Matter of fact, as the pilgrims come in, we'll ask them their experience. But I will say, as a person who's done it many, many years, there is nothing more perhaps pleasurable you can get in the world than like being filled with joy and seeing other people in joy with you, especially when you're from different cultures, different genders, different,
No, crossing
backgrounds,
the
different.
boundaries there, Raghunath. Yeah,
What's that?
crossing those borders, breaking
Crossing those
down the
borders,
boundaries,
breaking
Breaking
down
down
the
the
walls,
connecting through
perhaps.
love.
Yeah, yeah. And so it was like a big, beautiful Hare Krishna dance party at the banks of the River Ganga yesterday.
Wonderful. Looks like there's a
And
lot of
I tell
people
you,
in the background there. I see a lot of people milling about back there on the walkway
there's-
behind you somewhere back there.
yeah, there's people doing stuff. There's like a photo shoot going on.
Keys
It's
happening.
photo
Just pretend
shoot.
it's not. Yeah. But I will say this: I was truthfully, I was just exhausted because we traveled there, and then we went to the market in Haridwar, and I was talking to Mara, and we didn't start yet. I was like, you know what? Usually we do a kirtana, Nagar Sankirtan, where we sing and chant down all the way to the Ganga. And I was just a little down. I said, I think we're going to skip the chanting in the streets. Let's just go to the Ganga. And she's like, you'll change once we walk out the door. And sure enough, we just started singing and dancing, and then people start following us that we don't even know. It's just energizing. It's just so damn energizing. And I'm so happy that I get to do this with my life.
We're
That's
happy
where I'm
for
at
you,
today.
Raghunath. We're happy
Huh?
for you. We're happy for you. Can you
Thank
hear
you.
me? It's like every time I speak, you're like,
Well,
"Huh?"
we're in a big room and you're not that loud, and I don't know how to get you louder, but I
We
can't
have you
hear
as
that
loud
well.
as
We have you as loud as you
Just so
can.
go on the
Okay.
computer.
And people are just like trying to get closer so they can hear. If you guys want to get closer, if you can't hear, you can come closer. Mara, any announcements before we go into anything deeper here?
Yeah, I have a couple announcements. Our show is going to be at 5 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow and the next day. For people in Europe and not in America, we changed our clocks. So you'll have to figure out what that means for you depending on where you live.
5 a.m. New York time.
Yeah, 5 a.m. Eastern time. And then also this Sunday, November 9th, for the Urban Davy via the Bhakti Center, we have our dear friend Kishori Gopi is
Oh.
leading the Urban Davy. And the topic is reawakening to divine love. They're exploring how spirit, the subtle body, surrender, and sanctity work together to transform our relationships.
Boom, 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 boom,
Well,
boom.
that's
And guess what,
wonderful.
Kaustubha?
What?
In about a week from now, Miss Mara's going to have a whole different name.
What are you talking about? Well, there's several ways that I could approach that. There's a marriage way. There's an initiation way. There's you
Well, I
giving
know.
her a nickname. There's like,
Malibu.
No, not like that. Not the marriage name. Not the marriage name. Initiation name.
wow.
We'll see.
Mm.
Okay. I'm the last
It's
to
going
hear.
to be weird not having Mara on the podcast anymore.
That'll be very
Amazing.
strange.
Meenakshi or something cool.
Meenakshi would be good. Do you know what Meenakshi means?
I can call her Meanie for short.
Sarah? Meanie?
Stop being a big meanie. Meanie.
It means fish eyes.
Meenakshi is a beautiful name. Huh?
Fish eyes.
That's what Meenakshi means?
Yeah.
Eyes like
But-
fish?
But it doesn't
But
mean
it's
that
a-
you
it's
have
a
eyes
nice
that look like
fish.
a fish's eyes. It means your eyes move like the fish. Like, you know how fish go like, whoop.
Your eyes move like a fish. Yeah, Mara, that's a nice name. Fish eyes. Can we just call her Fish Eyes for short?
Well, that would, I don't know if it's short, but that's what it means.
I was called Frog Eyes as a kid on the bus, all the mean kids. I'm still scarred from that. Okay. It's Q&A time. Who's our first Q?
We have Didoma for our first.
Ditto Ma.
Wonderful.
Bring her down.
Oh, hey,
I tell you, we always saw her little postage stamp face on the screen. And in
Here she
3D, she is just as charming and wonderful as your little 3D face.
Oh, shucks.
Hello, Ditto Ma. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me on. Hi, Kaustubha Prabhu. Hi,
Wonderful
everybody.
to see
Live,
you.
live.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you for everything y'all do.
First of all, I want to first ask you, how was your experience yesterday at Haridwar?
And
I've
real
never
close
felt
to the
so high
mic.
in my life. Never felt so high in my life.
It's-
No drug could make that happen.
Yeah.
There's no real words that I can really describe the experience.
Everybody's
You just
got that
gotta
glow.
be here.
Everybody's got that glow right now.
Everybody's glowing. Everybody's glowing. And the day before that, we did it at that Shiva temple with a gigantic 26-ton Shiva lingam. And it was just like a party out of control.
Raghu, when you said, looking around, that's what my biggest thing was. I was looking around at everybody, and everyone's just like smiling, laughing. We're all like children, and no one like in the moment, and nothing else matters. It's all about this is why I'm here, and Penny and more.
Mm, beautiful. And Dilemma's been on the show before, right?
Yes, I was on a walk on Wednesday.
You went to walk on Wednesday. You have your tattoo studio. You got into Wisdom of the Sages from.
It's very short, concise story. George Harrison finally noticed the Maha Mantra in the song, and I was like, "What the heck?" I looked up who is Krishna, and Hindu god. And then my husband is a hardcore punk head, so he was like, there's a genre of hardcore called Krishna core, and he's just like really perplexed about that. Like, what does this have to do with that?
Interesting.
So a few months later, this YouTuber put out a video about bands like Youth of Today, Shelter, and more, and he dropped your book.
All right.
And my husband doesn't read or listen to audiobooks at all, but he was very interested to listen to that. So I was like, well, I want to listen to it with you, because I've been spiritually seeking for a long time, but it was just everywhere. I didn't have a path or a direction. It was a lot of like new age stuff that really didn't satisfy me. So that's kind of the way I got introduced into Bhakti, the short version.
Wonderful.
Double it. What do you think of that? Because
I think it's wonderful, Raghunath.
Through the book. I didn't know that. I wasn't prompting her to say that. That was new to me.
That's great.
Well, if you told me once before, I forgot.
I told it on the walk on Wednesday.
Yeah,
you told her on the walk on Wednesday. Okay, I forgot.
Yeah. But remind me again.
Looking at the message
again.
board of it.
Could you tell me again?
Tell me one more time and direct it towards Kaustubha. No. Okay. Well, what is your question, dear?
My question is, there are a handful of pilgrims here that don't feel that they have a Bhakti community in their town, including myself. And my question is there a lighter version of having a home program that you generally see in home programs, where it will be comfortable and inviting for very beginning newcomers that don't know anything about this? Because I want to do more of the lighter, the more, I guess, serious or full version. And in my city, we now have gotten to the point where we do a program every Sunday, and there's deities and there's Bhagavad Gītā study, but I would like to host my own for those who are just kind of curious. So I'm wondering if y'all could give me some advice on something kind of a lighter version.
Krishna
lighter
curious.
Than the one you already do. You do one at your tattoo shop.
Yes,
right?
I have done about 4 or 5 there, and I feel like it's not just for everybody else that I want it lighter. It's for myself too, because I feel a lot of pressure. And then the lady over there, the devotee, she has 2 kids, and her husband works 20 days a week in the oil field, 10 days home.
20 days a week is a long.
So she's
long
really
week.
busy, and she has to do a lot of work. And I want to take up more of a, I want to be more responsible and do things not on my own, but like, so she doesn't have to do so much work, and where I can easily, you know what I'm trying to say. I can easily, I'm not over my head too much as well.
Yeah. Hey, there's a Lungor monkey wandering around in the background. I got a little distracted.
Yeah, there might be. There might be a Lungor monkey out there.
There it goes. I see the tail flapping around.
Yeah.
You would like me to start, Raghu, or you would like to start?
Yeah, please.
So that's a wonderful question, Sarah. I would say, first of all, you mentioned, I forget how you phrased it, but like there's a certain pressure that you might feel like hosting the program. I think try to entirely let go of that feeling. There's no pressure whatsoever, because it's just people getting together going into something a little deeper, trying to understand something. You don't have to be a teacher with all the answers. You can be a person that's inviting people over, and together we're going to examine this to the best that we can. And so I would say maybe the easiest way to do that, and it seems popular, and people kind of naturally, it's kind of unimposing, is to start a reading group. Say, we're going to get together once a week. You can read while you're, during the week, and then you come together on one day of the week and you discuss what you read a little together, you discuss what you read, you share your thoughts on it, you can write down questions that the group has. You don't have to have the answers. So that's a good question. I'm going to examine that for you. I'm going to come back next week. We're going to have an answer for you. And so like that, you just you make it. You take all the pressure off, and you can maybe serve out even some simple afterwards, some simple prasadam, even if it's just like hors d'oeuvres or something like that. Something, you make it real nice. And that gives people a chance to relax and get to know each other. So you're building friendships as well as studying the texts. And I think that's like a no pressure way to do it. And people won't feel like it's awkward or like there's some cultural element to it that's really foreign to them, or they feel alienated in some way. Keep it simple like that. What do you think,
That's
Barbara?
so beautiful and so simple.
Be simple.
And I will do that for sure. I'm comfortable speaking with strangers one-on-one when they come to the shop. So it just
Right.
seems, I feel like a lot of people are interested in learning more, and a reading group and questions, like we can just all get together and discuss, and there's no, and
It's no hierarchy,
Yeah.
like you're some guru there.
'cause I'm not wanting to be like, I'm like, let's learn
More of a
together, but-
facilitator
Yes.
Yeah.
than a teacher.
Yes.
And gradually you'll become the teacher. It'll happen
You
naturally.
could
right?
even
Without
call it the spiritual reading group. You don't have to read necessarily a scripture. You could read a
You
book
could
that
read,
has something to
Punk
do
to
with the
Monk.
scriptures say, Punk to Monk, Journey Home, or something that
I know a lot
like,
of,
you know what I mean? Like Journey Home. So you're reading, this is a spiritual reading group, and this is a book we're reading. And I've got a list of books that we're going to read on this list that have touched my heart. And it doesn't have to be clandestine that you're a Krishna Bhakta, but you could just say, here's the reading list we're going to do, and jump on.
that sounds perfect. Thank
Hors
you.
d'oeuvres, I love the prasad. Nothing is complete without prasad being
Oh, it'll be
distributed.
there.
All right. Harry Ball. Thank you, Didama.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
She's a pleasure to have on the trips. Certain people, they
nice.
just bring the energy, bring that positive energy.
Yeah.
Ever hear of what's it called? Pyrite? Pyrite?
Money magnet.
The money magnet stone. Pyrite. Everybody sells it here in Rishikesh.
You ready?
Want some pyrite?
You want another question?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get Lucia.
I don't know how I got talking about that.
I don't know.
Lucia, come on down. Did it. Lucia is here from Slovakia, but she lives in Australia. And she's a very sincere seeker. Why don't you share that thing when we first had our opening circle, how you met the devotees? So she's in Australia, right?
Hare Krishna, everyone. So I was 21 years old when I left Slovakia, with no English and no money, but that was a long time ago. But about 5 years ago, me and my two friends were traveling up and down the east coast of Australia. And another friend told me, like, why don't you go to this farm? Like, it's full of hippies and I'm sure you're going to love it. I was I was a spiritual seeker, I guess, or I was trying to figure out where's my path for the past 15 years. So I was like, yeah, I'm open to it. Let's check out these hippies. And we got into this beautiful farm, which is Hare Krishna.
Merwillumba.
Wollumba. It took me
Wollumba.
1 year to actually pronounce it properly.
Incredible. I've been there before.
It's gorgeous.
It's breathtaking. That's where Mukunda Goswami lives, I think. I met
Mhm.
Hari Sori there. Yeah.
And so what we saw was like there is a part that's called Krishna Village, which is full of volunteers and hippies coming from all over the world. And then up on the hill is the most beautiful temple. And we walked in and it was in the middle of a kirtan. And I walked in and I couldn't believe what I see. It was just the most beautiful way of praising God. And it was an instant love for me. I was completely in love and I have goosebumps just talking about it
Isn't that a
still.
beautiful story?
And I had tears in my eyes and my friends were waiting for me for 2 hours outside the temple going, she's lost her mind. She's crazy. And I was just dancing. I didn't even know what I was saying and I loved it.
That's
That is
wonderful.
incredible. That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Mine and Kaustubha's is slightly different. There was a street gang that influenced us that we feared and both loved, and we got into it that way. But that was beautiful. You hear kirtan and you fall in love with kirtan, and she's still the same way. She's still very radiant, very blissful. Are you having a good time?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Can
Thank
you
you so much.
Close your eyes and think of your favorite, most Krishna conscious moment.
On this pilgrimage.
Yeah.
I think there were a few, so it's hard to pick one. But
Pick
I
one.
think when we were at the Shiva temple 2 days ago, and there was petals falling from the sky, almost it felt like, and everyone was just so full of joy and singing kirtan, and it was just so gorgeous. And my dad is in hospital right now, and before the kirtan, I was told that he's fighting for his life, and then when we finished the kirtan, he got better. So I believe that Krishna has had his hand in that. Yeah, so very grateful to everyone.
That was me. It was the 2 years before we had a big kirtan there, and I went by with Mara and Tarun and Tommy. Oh no, Mike Stone, Mara and Mike Stone, and we went by there, and I was like, "Oh, there's that place we had the kirtan," and the guy just poked his head out. He goes, "Raghunath?"
Wow.
I like he remembered me. And
Raghunath.
he's like, "Why? I saw your picture on the because they made a poster of me for the MBT." He goes, "I saw your picture, but you did not come here, and I thought you had left." I was like, "Oh no!" And we had no plan on going there. We had a whole plan that evening. He goes, "Please come have kirtan at our
That
temple."
was very sweet.
And he was so sweet, and he started giving us prasad and garlands, and I was like, "There's just so much love." Okay, I'm canceling all our plans for the evening, and we're going to come here for kirtan, and we did it. And while we were in this kirtan, all the locals came, all their priests came out, and they just started showering flowers on us from the upper. The Shiva lingam is so big, you got to take a staircase up, and then you throw and then they do the abhishek from up top. So they started throwing flowers from the roof.
Yeah,
That was a magical day.
it's magical.
Thank you. Oh, what's your question?
Yeah,
Forgot you had a question here.
it's a long question, so I wrote it down. I've been struggling because yesterday we went to Haridwar and there was lots of suffering all around us, and I do have a soft heart, as some of us probably have noticed that. Yeah, and so seeing all the suffering, I just was really struggling in my mind to reconcile. So this is my question. So during our time in India, we witness extreme poverty and suffering all around us. I understand that we are a spirit soul, not these temporary bodies, and that the life we experience now is shaped by our past and present karma, whether it's good or bad. We accept this reality and see this life as a passage to the next life, or ideally as an opportunity for the soul's spiritual growth and advancement. You also mentioned a couple of days ago that if Krishna truly loves us, he may take everything away, which I guess highlights the path of detachment. Yet I find myself wondering, how do I balance detachment from the material world suffering with genuine compassion for those who are suffering? How can I remain detached through understanding the bigger picture while still expressing sincere empathy and love towards others?
I like that. Beautiful question. And you do see when you go through developing countries like India, you see a lot of poverty. You see people missing limbs or disfigured. You see trash on the street, or you see litter in the water, in the sacred water. You see defecation, improper sanitation, and you start to get your heart wants to pour out. And sometimes, if you are soft-hearted like you are, you just sometimes break down in tears when you see a 10-year-old holding a 1-year-old in her arms.
Yes.
I think if you aren't like you are, you have to become hard-hearted, and that's not the answer. I always say when something bad happens to me, I think this is my karma. But when something bad is happening all around me, I think I have to feel empathy. I always train myself to be compassionate for others. But for myself, if something's bad happening to me, I can't be like oh, why me? I have to be like, well, this is my karma. I must have done something because I have this now. And everything gets something. At the same time, I know last night I've been having a very, very difficult time sleeping every night. So I've been very exhausted. My health's not that been good. But I had, I don't know, it seems like I woke up 40 times a night. Every time I wake up, I've had an incredible vivid dream. So even just last night, if I had 40 dreams, each dream had a different, very loud emotion, like fear, sadness, happy, rejoice, wonder. It was all like very real. And when I wake up, I can't remember any of it. because they're dreams. They're temporary. They evoked a heartbeat, a racing heartbeat, or a joyous feeling of the mind, or a relaxation, but it was all actually unreal because it was temporary. In the same way, this life, as long as it seems, is actually quite short. Like when you walk by a cemetery, all those people had very significant lives, but in one sense, they're actually insignificant. We don't even think about them anymore. We don't think about the family of gravestones next to each other and what they went through. It's all like a bubble in the ocean. And at the same time, for millennia, for thousands of years, it's almost like it's a dream of Brahma, like in Brahma's lifetime. And of course, that's all within a moment of Lord Vishnu's. So our lifetime, even if I was to live, I mean, I've had ups and downs in my life. I've had great joy and great pain. But even if my life was born into pain and I die in pain and I live till I'm 100, it's still a bubble in the ocean.
Yeah.
So everybody here is just burning off some karma. And even the planet itself is burning off some karma as we go through this winter season of Kali Yuga. And it will have its ups and downs because that's part of karma. In the same way, sometimes a homeless man becomes a millionaire for some, who knows why. And sometimes a millionaire loses everything and ends up on the street as an alcoholic. There's some types shifts of karma that happen within our lifetime. And all the best we can do, I find in my life, the best I can do is take care of my own, govern my own spiritual life, sail my own spiritual ship, and touch as many hearts as I can while I'm doing, and give that absolute truth that the Bhagavad Gita teaches, which is that we're here for a moment. We've got to control our mind and our senses because those are the things we can control. And we should be compassionate to those going through pain. But the highest thing we can offer people is eternal truth, which is we're all children under God. No one can actually harm us unless we allow them to. And that we're all brothers and sisters. There is no enemy. And we should learn to forgive people and learn to see God's hand in everything that happens. And everything is meant for our growth. That's how I frame it out. And that's how I can deal with it. Otherwise, a person like you with a soft heart can go to a place like this and you'll just cry your life away.
I was thinking that yesterday is that coming to India without the spiritual foundation, I literally would be on the floor crying nonstop, 24/7.
You're not the first person that said to me on this trip.
Standing, yeah.
Where you just sort of like wander around, just like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
What's this about? It's very confusing.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, and truthfully, the whole world is confused. Even the people that seem like they got it all together, because they're either chasing money, they're chasing sex, they're chasing power, they're chasing control, and until you get the combination lock, so to speak, the combination of the combination lock, you won't have any freedom. You'll be bound up. And the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam offer that type of freedom, like how to navigate yourself in this, how to find joy in a world that's crumbling around you. How do you find something eternal in a temporary world? Like that is a real conundrum. Kaustubha? Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. You know, Lucia, thank you for the question. And I want to share a couple things. One is that when we speak of detachment, it doesn't mean detachment. It doesn't mean that you give up compassion. As a matter of fact, compassion is not only something that a devotee of Krishna tries to cultivate, but it's actually part of bhakti. It's one of a very special qualities that are part of bhakti. And so this wonderful sage, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explained that bhakti is all about having a soft heart. It means that you feel. It means that you're not callous, that you really feel. And so when that soft heart is turned towards Radha and Krishna, one feels what we call prema, right? This divine love. And if you take that same exact soft heart and you turn it towards the people of this world, then it's called, that same exact feeling is compassion. right? So love for God one way, you turn it the other way, and it's called compassion. It is the natural state of the devotee to feel compassion for the suffering of any living being. If we're not feeling it, it means we don't have bhakti. It's just not there in us. We're hard-hearted, we're callous. To whatever degree that we're not feeling compassion for those that are suffering, we're not really feeling bhakti. So that's there. Now, this is an important distinction, and I think part of what Raghunath was sharing is very relevant to this. And you mentioned in your question, like seeing the bigger picture. And so we generally feel some compassion when we see someone that's in an external situation that's appears intolerable to us, right? This person is living in a shack with just like a tarp over it, you know, and so on. And we feel that compassion, and it's natural to feel that compassion. It's not something that you need to let go of in any way. If you don't feel it, it means there's something wrong. But from a more zoomed out picture, if we really look at this world, when we see through the eyes of knowledge, we see that every living being is going through all of these positions. You know, and we're all suffering in different ways. Sometimes it's a little lighter, sometimes it's heavier, and we're all moving through these. So one important idea in compassion is even when we see the person that appears materially well off, the devotee seeing through the eyes of knowledge actually feels compassion for them too. We're all trapped, and we're all going through these ups and downs. Sometimes the person that appears well off is actually suffering deeply within. Sometimes it's just a matter of their next birth, that they're suffering more intensely than the people that we think are really suffering. So in no way are we to harden our hearts to the real visceral suffering that we see in this world, but we actually begin to see all of this suffering, and then we'll be best able to do something about it when we truly understand the root of the problem. Right, and the root of the problem is that that's one way or another we've turned ourselves from the real shelter. We've disassociated ourselves from the very root of our existence, and we've entered into a realm of karma where everything that we do has reactions, and that realm takes us through these waves of up and down and up and down and up and down. So from that zoomed out position, it's not like your compassion for the suffering of others lessens. Actually, your compassion for every living being increases, but it's all within this realm of knowledge. And when you really have that, then you know best how to administer that. If you know, like sometimes there's doctors, like say, like in a war scenario or something like that, and they need to, in a sense, to take care of some. They need to, in a sense, temporarily harden themselves a little bit to the suffering that's going on. If they were to just go like, "Oh my God, this suffering is so bad," they won't be effective in serving others. Right, and actually helping. They have to get busy, get moving, you know, in terms of helping others, and I think, you know, that's what a Krishna Bhakta is called to do, and they'll do it in different ways. Some will do it by, you know, we have people that, you know, in India, the Hare Krishna movement. Do you know how much food it distributes? It's like millions are fed every day in the schools, in the ghettos, in the slums of India. You know, so that's, and if one feels called to serve that way, even just to contribute to that, that's a wonderful way to serve Krishna. And others are doing it in other ways by trying to bring this knowledge, because it's really the knowledge of understanding who I am that is ultimately going to give relief. So don't feel in any way the need to detach yourself from the sufferings of others, but we also need to try to understand it in the broadest perspective too, and try to work with both of those.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
really
Lucia.
appreciate it.
Nice. Pleasure having you on this trip.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody appreciate Lucia.
Hare
All right, well,
Krishna. Thank you for having me.
that's nice, Mara, isn't it?
That was great.
It was great. Mara, you having a good time?
Prabhu.
What's your favorite time so far yourself?
Well, that was my first time at Dave Prayag.
Oh,
That
Dave
was really
Prayag.
special. Yeah.
Super special.
You know, I mean, Haridwar is always an epic time, but it's a little overwhelming for
It's a
me.
little loud.
It's
a
a
little
little
like-
loud.
it's
a lot of
there's
just a
people.
lot.
There's a place in Haridwar that's very quiet, not far from there. We got to get you there.
That's
It's
where I
really-
need to go, I think, next time.
It's really beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up for our next question, we have Azarina from Bulgaria.
Azarina, come on down.
She was very shy, but we.
Azarina's been a very pleasant surprise on this trip. She's like a dedicated devotee, and you listen to the wisdom of the sages.
Yeah, I do all the time.
You got to hold it right to your mouth.
I do all the
She
time.
does all the time.
All the time.
And
Have you read? How many times have you read
You got
Punk
to
to
hold
Monk?
it right to your mouth.
Sorry?
Have you read
Azarina-
my book? She said.
I started reading
Started.
the book. Yes.
He started.
Okay.
No, I don't think he started.
Okay.
But yeah, she's also a pleasure to have on the. She's like she wants Krishna. You can see it. All you got to do is talk to her a little bit, and she's got a great taste for it. And she's very international. She travels all over the world for her work, and
Yes.
she's very serious about her spiritual life. So it's great to have you.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very,
You- you
very
s-
blessed to be here. I think it's great mercy. And yeah,
Did you say
contrary to
from?
popular belief, meeting your heroes is actually really awesome.
You say you're from
Yeah.
Bulgaria. Is that right? Can you hear
Sorry?
me? Did you say you're from Bulgaria? Where are you from?
I am for Bulgaria. Yes.
Okay. My
Varna.
superintendent of my building is from Bulgaria.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
And Divya
Okay.
Right.
What's that?
from Divya's kitchen.
Divya's. Acha.
Divya.
Divya's from Bulgaria.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. I didn't know.
Oh, wow. The more you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
So how can we do you for? Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think I have a pretty simple and beginner's question, but it's something that I've personally struggled with in, I guess, applying Krishna consciousness principles in my day-to-day life. We are encouraged in this tradition to be very humble and tolerant, but I guess the line, at least for me, in practical life between humility and passivity is very thin. So,
Humility
and
and
passivity, being passive,
passivity.
passivity,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Yes. Perfect.
So yeah, I guess the question is how do you apply those principles in your day-to-day life?
Could I ask a question about the question?
Yes.
Is this in relation to like not allowing oneself to be mistreated by others? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to be humble,
exactly.
but okay.
Yeah, because I've had many situations where I felt like, okay, something is happening to me, but I feel like I should be very tolerant right now and humble and not. How do I really approach it? Because from a Krishna consciousness perspective, I feel like I should be, very
Tolerant.
passive, I guess, and tolerant. Yes, not passive,
Great
but
question.
yeah.
Right.
Yes, very good question. Important question.
How to be like, how to be of service, but not be like
A doormat.
manipulate. Oh, I was going to say a doormat, but I want the devotees to put their feet on my head. That's what I enjoy.
No, I don't mind that. I love that, but it's just in the day-to-day life, being tolerant could be, I guess,
Sure.
difficult.
Sure. Kaustubha, you want to give it
Sure.
a shot?
So of course, perhaps our most important instruction in the practice of bhakti comes from Sri Chaitanya. Have you been speaking on Shashastakam a little bit, Raghunath?
No.
Okay. So there's a very famous verse, Trinadapi sunīcena, Todor iva suhishnuna, amanena manadena kirtaniya sadahari. It opens up by saying one
That's our
must
6
be.
pillars. We've been teaching that.
The 6 pillars are derived from that. Yeah. That one should be
Yeah.
more humble than the blade of grass, and more tolerant than the tree. Right? You've heard that. And
Exactly.
then
Yeah.
offering all respects to every living being, asking for no respect to oneself. In that state of mind, one can become deeply absorbed and always being absorbed in chanting these names and deep into the meditation on this. So what does it mean by tolerant here? And I think here's a way to think of it, is that generally what we do in this world is we try to shift the external things in such a way that they bring pleasure to our senses. And we try to shift things externally so that we relieve any displeasure to the senses. So we're trying to find a comfortable, pleasurable situation. And we expend all kinds of energies to create that comfortable, pleasurable situation. We waste our lives this way. We absorb our minds this way. And with that distracted mind, we can never absorb it deeply in meditation. So tolerance means that, you know what? Some pleasurable things are going to come my way. That's nice. And some unpleasurable things are going to come my way. That's also okay. I don't need to change the whole world to create the perfect situation. I can tolerate. I can tolerate it when things don't quite go my way. And without my mind going into loops of animosity or resentment because of the circumstance, I can tolerate. Without having to expend all kind of energies to shift it, I can tolerate. I don't need to burn off my energy that I could use to go deep into spirituality, trying to change the externals. I can tolerate. So if you can understand toleration like that, it'll save us so much. Someone said something not so nice about me. I need to get them back. I need to show everyone that they're wrong. I need to humiliate them. I can tolerate. That's the way a yogi is. It means that the things that we see as very big, with our knowledge, they shrink down to something very small and they become very easy to tolerate. What was something that would really disturb the mind of the average person, for the yogi, they say, that's not so important. I can tolerate it. Now, that doesn't mean that you expose yourself or become vulnerable to some kind of abuse. That doesn't mean that if you're really being treated in ways that are harmful to you, that you just sit and allow it. If that's the case, the devotee has this discernment, like, okay, this is going to be problematic for my devotional life. Now we make a change. But our general mode is I can tolerate things that are problematic. I'm gonna make sure that I have a relatively suitable home to live in. I'm gonna make sure I have relatively suitable food to nourish my body and the kind of shelter that I need. And beyond that, I'll tolerate. It's kind of like that. There's one principle in life that always holds up, and that is that let me give my life to the root of my existence, to my source, to Sri Krishna. That applies under all circumstances. And then an idea like tolerance is going to, we see how to fine tune it and how to apply it. But let's not mistake it for just allowing ourselves to become victimized and damaged in some kind of way. We'll build the walls that we need to build, or we'll make the shifts that we need to make in those cases. But most of us are very intolerant by nature, and we're constantly trying to shift the externals for our pleasure and our comfort, and we're wasting a lot of time and energy. So if you can understand in a bit more general sense like that, then I think you'll get the essence of it. Raghunath, would you like to add something to that?
I think when you work with people, especially in Bhakti, that you really love and appreciate, and that really love and appreciate you, you'll be less likely to be mistreated. Sometimes when you work with people, like we have a team of people that we work with at our farm, and there's like a mutual trust that we have with each other that, if someone feels like this is too much for me, they'll say, you know what, I need a day off. I need some time off. I need to take a break. I need to pull back. And of course, we want to support that because we love them. And we'll be like, hey, let me carry that weight for you. Right. But at the same time, great things become accomplished when we sacrifice. So humility means, yeah, I'm not going to be living in complaining, which people generally do. People complain about everything. They get offered everything, and they complain about what they get offered. They're in a great situation, they complain about it. They whatever it may be, they live in a complaint, and it ruins their life, and it ruins everyone that loves them's life as well, because they become the recipient of that person's complaining. So if anything great is going to be accomplished, there's going to be struggle, and it's going to take patience, and it's going to take commitment. And I think this principle here is we're going to work through all this. Today we were talking about that in our afternoon class of Krishna Lila. We were saying that the eagerness to serve the devotees, the eagerness to eat the remnants of the devotees, the eagerness to touch the feet of the devotees, the dust of the feet of the devotees. And that's a type of humility as well, because you're seeing, oh, these are the devotees. I want to serve them. I want to be fixed in my service to the devotees. So that type of excitement to render service and give, it's a very beautiful thing. And I see you have it. I see so many people on this trip have that. They're eager to serve. Let me help with that. And that's a type of humility as well, especially sometimes people are very, very qualified. They're very, very qualified in their workforce, but they're on pilgrimage and they just want to render service. So that is a type of humility that you want when you're around the devotees, when you're places like this on pilgrimage, that eagerness to want to render service and take that lower rung. It's very inspirational when you see senior people in Bhakti who still have the desire to play the humble role as the servant. There's something so beautiful when you see someone more qualified taking a very subservient role too. That's like real genuine humility. And I think it's just smart, especially if you've been bad with boundaries. I'm not saying you have, but if you have been, you have to start figuring out what boundaries are, in a sense. Like, you have to know when enough is enough. You have to know when, you know what, this isn't good for my body. This isn't good for my health. This isn't good for my overall thing. But I think if you work with people, they'll want to, me and Mara work together a lot of stuff, and I can really push and I can really go. I have to become a little bit more sensitive when I need to just say, okay, are you doing okay? Right, Mara? Shouldn't I do that? Yeah. So it's unlike the regular material world where, oh, these are my demands. This is my boundary. It's a different mood.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I hope that answered your question.
It did. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure having you. All right. She's going to come visit us for our Wisdom of the Sages retreat at the farm in Memorial Day weekend next year. Harry Ball.
Right.
Howdy, Paul.
Who we got left on our agenda here? We have time for one more question.
We got time for one more question from Ferdy.
Ferdy. Everybody loves Ferdy.
By the way, I just put Ferdy on the spot to ask a question, so he's
start
Does
he even have a
digging
question?
Ferdy.
No, he's got something.
It's Ferdy from San Diego, who you might have met before, right? Have you been on the
He
show
was
before?
last year.
Oh,
last
yeah.
year.
Were you on the podcast?
Yeah.
All right, I forgot. This
Hello,
gray hair
Ferdy.
means I'm getting old. So is my memory. How are you? Ferdy, he's the bright light of San Diego, this guy. Everyone who meets him loves him instantly. Isn't that true?
Thank you, Prabhu. Are you asking me if
Yeah,
that's
isn't
true?
that
I don't
true?
know. I think I need to
You
be as
know,
humble
you
as a
know.
blade of grass.
He maybe has one or two crazy Joe Davolas out there, but for the most
Oh
part,
my goodness. Oh my gosh. Hare Krishna Kaustubha Das.
wonderful
Humble
to see you there
obeisance.
again.
Beautiful to see you too,
To
at
be
least
fo-
virtually.
Before
Yes.
your question, what's been your highlight so far of the trip?
That's such a hard question for me because I had, you set the bar last year for me, so I had really high expectations coming on this trip already. You've met all the expectations for me, but I will say, having done this before, I mean, I love the fact that we went to Dev Prayag for the
Yeah.
first time. That was a highlight. But last night, I mean, I
In
don't.
Haridwar.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better than Sarah. It was like ecstasy being in that kirtan. I mean, the way that the Indians were crowding around all of us and starting to consume our space and getting into and then just to see how they were so appreciative of Raghunath Prabhu by just offering their obeisances to you one after another. They were just coming down and just bowing down to you. that was really beautiful to see that they were so open and welcoming to, these Americans
Yeah, American
singing in their
Ganga.
space. And, and yeah, while the kirtan was absolutely amazing and super energetic and everyone was dancing, I mean, to see the reverence that they offered to you was really, really beautiful for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thanks, Freddie. Longtime listener too to the podcast, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Trying to catch up though.
Oh,
So I
man.
am glad that you're 3 days a week.
Yes. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it.
My goodness.
All right. What's your question, Prabhu? How can we serve?
Well, like I said, I had high expectations on this trip just because I had been last year, and last year it was really transformative for me because I really wanted to grow my spiritual practice, specifically the love of Krishna, and so it was during Kartik at this time that I started doing 16 rounds.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I haven't stopped since then, but I do believe that the trip transformed me so much that my love of Krishna absolutely grew. I'm doing and I remember asking this question last year about like, how do I continue to grow my practice after I leave? And I took your advice and, have applied many of the much of the advice that you had given me to my personal life. I'm spending a lot of time in the temple. I have a home puja room. I'm surrounded by great association. I'm following the regulative principles. I'm chanting my rounds daily. I haven't stopped since last year. So I'm doing all of this in practice. But the expectations I have coming on this trip this year are now like wanting to level up my practice. So, but I tend to be an overachiever and I'm really, really, really hard on myself. And so when I don't feel like I'm progressing fast enough, I can kind of like get down on myself. So my question is, how can I progress even further in my practice? Are there things that I can continue to do to add to my practice that I'm not currently doing? But then also being really kind and tender to myself when I'm like maybe not achieving what I have set out to do.
That's a great question. I love that statement. If we jump high, sometimes we fall short. And it sounds like you're jumping very high.
Yeah,
You-
I'm
you-
trying to win the world record right now.
Good. And it's something beautiful to jump for in Bhakti. You want to jump higher and higher. And it's a great chance. We're here at the Ganga. We're about to go sing at Ramjula. You can go down to the Ganga and say, "Oh, Ganga Devi, show where I can increase my Bhakti. How can I increase it? What do I need to add? What do I need to let go of?
Beautiful.
What do I need to add? Do I have to read more? Do I have to become more knowledgeable? Do I have to do something more simple? Do I have to go to the local temple and render some menial service that's like, I'm so above that. I'm a professional, this or that, but I'm going to go sweep the floors because the floors need sweeping. Or I'm going to go to whoever's in charge of the temple, who also may be, some 20-year-old kid, and we're older men who've had a whole life, but we go to that kid and say, what can I do to be of service 1 hour a week, 2 hours? You know what I mean? Something rendering service to something bigger than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Or take up some service with with a podcast or with take up a sage group or something like that. What can it be? And you can ask Ganga Devi that. You can pray to Krishna. How can I up my game even a little? The 12-step program, they says it's progress, not perfection. And you sound like a perfectionist. Little bit.
Maybe this much.
Little bits. And so instead of thinking I'm going for the gold, thinking I'm going to get a little better today. I'm going to take a little baby step, but in the right direction today. Sometimes this idea, pure devotee, pure devotee, pure devotee. How about I just get a little better today? Add a little bit more today. Because then there's no beating yourself up. You're just adding more and more and more. And that totals up and it becomes weighty.
Perfect.
That's what I say. Kaustubha, what do you say?
I agree with Raghunath. I think there's a type of burning desire for change that's healthy. It can be real healthy, I can't tolerate being in this lower state of consciousness anymore. I must change. That can be very healthy. But it can also be, there's another type of thing where it's like, I'm not seeing the change I want to see right now. Now I'm getting discouraged. That's a problem. And so if we were able to zoom out and see, Ferdy, if you could zoom out and see a timeline of your existence through the material realm, you might say, oh my God, I'm advancing like crazy and I'm getting so close to the goal that this is like, just keep doing what I'm doing. Just keep, everything's great, you know? So that's important. And to help do that, in one sense, yes, we want, you know, our acharyas sing songs like, when will that moment come? When I chant your name, Krishna, that tears well up in my eyes and my voice chokes up and I get, you know, goosebumps all over my skin. You know, when will that day come? That's that healthy kind of yearning. So that's great. But we can't demand that either. We can't say, hey, I did my part, now where is that? Where is that bliss that I'm supposed to be feeling? Where is that? We're patient. And actually, we don't even demand that. What we want is the opportunity to serve. And that's something that you have. And so the idea is try to live in the moment and just try to serve purely. Just try to serve purely without any separate motive. Even where's my advancement? You know, why am I not feeling these symptoms? You know, just simply serve with whatever service that you're doing. Try to do it with one motive and one motive only. I want to please you, Krishna, by this. And if I can do that, what else do I need in this world? I can do that from any opportunity, from any state I'm in. Let me try to serve you. And so right in the moment now, try to enter into that consciousness. And before you know it, you'll be there. And all that you, I believe in a very sincere way, wish to achieve, you know, the state of the purity of your love that you wish to achieve, it will come. We do have to be a little bit patient, but from the zoomed out perspective, it's hardly long that we have to wait at all.
Oh, wow, that's super beautiful. Thank you both. I appreciate you guys.
You're a wonderful devotee, Ferdy.
Prabhus.
Love having you here,
Yes,
Prabhu. All right.
Thank
Let the
you.
magic continue, Miss Mara.
Yeah.
What's your takeaway from this pilgrimage, Mara?
Still collecting them.
Oh, that's it. When's the next show?
Tomorrow, same time,
Tomorrow.
5 a.m. Eastern.
All right. I will see you in Jaipur, Mr. Kaustubha.